Good evening, everyone. My name is Crystal, and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you like my videos, please smash that like button. Please do subscribe. I'm here in my flat in Rochester. I've got the shorts on from Temu. They fit perfect. They're handy for my little fitness workouts in the morning. So, what have I been doing? I just watched Pointless, the quiz show, Pointless. Richard Osman used to be one of the presenters, but he's not on there anymore. There's a woman with really curly hair and glasses. She said it was her last day today. I like Pointless. There was a female contestant with really long ginger hair right down her shoulders. I do like Pointless. I like The Apprentice, and I like Dragon's Den as well. Alexa, what's on BBC One this evening?
Here's what's on BBC One this evening. At 8, there's The One Show. At 8:30, there's a new episode of EastEnders. At 9, there's a new episode of Dragon's Den. At 10, there's a new episode of The Apprentice. If you'd like to hear more, ask me to tell you more.
So I just wanted to check whether Dragon's Den and The Apprentice was on, because I like to watch those as well. Yeah, I do like quiz shows. I watched The Bridge of Lies. The Bridge of Lies with Ross Kemp earlier on, because instead of getting myself all het up and frustrated, I'm now actually sitting down and concentrating and watching programs rather than getting myself het up. What used to happen was, with Flirt Finder and Facebook dating, people would message me and they would upset me. I would get upset. And I didn't realise that other people on TikTok and other people on Facebook dating were getting the same thing, until I found out that it's not only just done to me. Several people on TikTok are being pestered by unwanted messages and suggestive messages, and obviously scammers looking to fleece you with your money. So I don't feel so bad now, so I'm just sat down and I'm actually watching the television, where I just used to sit and get angry and frustrated with these messages. I just sit and watch the telly now and actually take it in, rather than sat there 24/7 with a phone in my hand, talking to God knows whoever it was who was upsetting me. So that's all changed now, which is good. So Alexa, what's the time, please? Alexa, what's the time, please?
The time is 6:03 p.m.
Right, so I take Max out for a walk later on. It's been raining here in Rochester, so the ground is all wet. So I've just shut my windows. It's got a bit dark as well. And I've drawn the blinds down and I've put the lights on. My mum called this afternoon. My mum.
Welcome to your EE voicemail. You have 1 new message and 10 saved messages. First new message. Received today at 2:32 p.m.
Hello, Ginesta. It's me, your mum, Jennifer, speaking to you again from my landline home to you, Ginesta. Just letting you know that I'm still feeling the same at the moment. I'm not feeling any better. But I'm just trying to get myself, as you do yourself, try and get myself together and literally try and, make myself well. It's just the aches and pains, and trying to move my legs back and forward and my arms, you know, it just is a bit difficult. Anyway, I thought I'd give you a ring. Give me a ring whenever you like, just to let me know you're all right. All right, Janessa, bye for now, and it was lovely to see you yesterday. Bye.
To return the call at your normal call rate, press hash.
I told you I saw my mum briefly yesterday, so she's acknowledged that there. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of bills that don't seem right, and they're really higher than what they should be. The council tax department has acknowledged my email to them yesterday. I want a review of that bill I've been sent, because I've now received what I believe is a Mickey take, a bill that's added £300 on, which is not right at all. And I'm very dubious as to Overdale solicitors, who that woman was on the phone. She had a Scottish accent, and I'm very dubious, and I'm being careful. Especially, there's been several attempts to steal money out of my bank account. And the bank notified me of one of them. Somebody who's got expensive taste, they tried to fleece money out of me from Marks and Spencer's. They went on a shopping spree in Marks and Spencer's online and took money out of my bank. There's not a lot I can do. What happened with the shopping has left me with hardly any money in my bank. You remember that Ocado declined my payment for my shopping, and then the next day it arrived on the doorstep. Well, I had 2 lots of shopping, which took all my money, and I was left with £2.97 in the bank, which is what I've got now. And I'm just trying to make ends meet at the moment. I got some bits yesterday. I'm fine. The main thing is you've got to have food to eat, and you've got to have electricity and gas. And that's okay. That's okay for now. But remember that woman from Overdale Solicitors, she was asking me all details of my outgoings and my incomings, and I'm getting a lot of dubious bills come through that don't seem right to me at all. So I've contacted the council tax department to make sure that is actually a real bill. You've got to be careful. There are scammers out there. They've got laser printers. How it's quadrupled, I don't understand that. You can't just do that. That's completely wrong. I discussed it with someone last night, and they said, well, that seems a bit funny. Just because I'm on my own, it doesn't mean I don't speak to people, I don't contact people. So don't think that because I'm by myself I haven't got anybody at all, because that's the wrong thing to think. And I'm also quite clever, and I can spot fake from reality. And it seems to me like some people are making things up as well as they go along, and thinking I'm a bit thick. And don't ever assume that either. I mean, I can't pay bills sometimes, so just because someone else is short of money, don't try and take it off me. So this evening I've just got to take Max out for a walk, right? And watch bits on the TV. The whole point is, I think there's something fishy going on where people keep trying to keep me indoors, because every time I keep trying to go outside, we've got that noisy bloody dog next door coming out, or somebody really tries to upset me outside when I'm outside, and I have to be strong and thick-skinned and walk past it. Right, so I got outside yesterday because my son took me to Rochester High Street, and then sometimes I start to feel a bit depressed and I don't want to go out, and I've got to. I have to. So there's something really odd going on. There is something fishy and not right. And you can't add £300 onto somebody's bill. That's just ridiculous. So, like I said, I've got enough money. I mean, if I just want to pop to the shop for a newspaper or get something healthy to eat, I've got enough money for that. I personally know what someone is trying to do, and that is just not going to happen. I'm that is just not going to happen. I rely on me, and I'm quite capable of finding out what's right and what's wrong. Alexa, LBC Radio.
LBC London from Global Player.
This is a grave injustice. At least we can say 2 cheers tonight. Probably not 3 cheers, but a qualified big day of success for you, Angela. Thank you so much for coming in and talking to me tonight. Let's turn to the actual parliamentary politics of all of this, to Stephen Timms, who's the Labour chair of the Work and Pension Select Committee, and also to Baroness Ros Altman, the Conservative peer and co-chair of the All-Party Parliamentary Group on Ageing and Older People. Now, in a sense, I've got the same question for both of you. I know that you are a Select Committee chair, former minister, but I'm really interested in your instinct for what your parties are going to do, because this is a big injustice, and a lot of people around the country will be waiting and watching, and quite soon voting on what's going to happen. So, Stephen first, what's going to happen on the Labour benches, do you think?
Well, I think everybody will accept that serious errors were made. It looks as though the need to write to women was identified, but for reasons which are unclear, it wasn't done for a long time. And then things got worse in the Pensions Act 2011, when the whole process of equalisation was speeded up. I think the first step will be for the Minister to make a statement in the House. And Penny Mordaunt, the Leader of the House, indicated that will happen next week before our Easter break.
So we will hear from the DWP in the Commons.
I think we will hear. The Ombudsman thinks, probably correctly, that the DWP won't accept any of the recommendations. So, as you've said, the Ombudsman has kind of presented the report directly to Parliament, but it's not quite clear what Parliament can do in response. If there needs to be legislation, which there probably does, my committee, which scrutinises the DWP, doesn't have the ability to initiate legislation. There's the Public Administration and Constitutional Affairs Committee, to which the Ombudsman reports.
You can't write law. Let's turn to Ros, because you knew about this issue for a long time, of course, and you've been campaigning about it for a very long time as well. Do you think this is now the moment when the government is going to have to come forward with some form of legislation to correct the injustice?
Well, I think that's going to be up to Parliament. Clearly, what the Ombudsman is saying is it doesn't believe that the DWP itself has yet accepted that it has done anything wrong. So the Ombudsman is saying that not only has the government failed to do anything to help the women, but it has not even accepted the findings that it needs to. So the Ombudsman is saying, rather than telling the department what it's found, because it doesn't believe the department will listen, it wants Parliament itself to sort this out. And I think that is a sensible suggestion, but we'll have to now see what MPs decide to do. Whatever it is, it needs to be done quickly, though.
Yes, I mean, Lady Altman, let me put it to you that line, "we ain't done nothing wrong," is not going to hold at the dispatch box in Parliament for more than about 30 seconds. It seems to an awful lot of people, in a common sense way, absolutely inexplicable that the department did not contact the people directly involved. Have you got any sense of why that might have happened?
Well, I think one can imagine why it might have happened, but to suggest that it didn't even need to be done, I find very difficult. You know, officials and ministers all knew that the state pension changes were coming. The measures were passed in 1995, and the intention of Parliament was to give women affected at least 15 years' notice of the fact that they wouldn't be getting a state pension on their 60th birthday, as all other women they'd ever known were doing. But the department seems to have believed that putting a few adverts in magazines or having a few leaflets available would
Was enough. Yes.
Through.
Yes. As I said at the top of the show, although it's not a huge amount of money for the individual people getting, it's still in total quite a large amount of money, and we've got big compensation bills of different kinds, including the infected blood scandal coming up as well. Nonetheless, raw politics. There is an election coming later this year. There are between 3 and 4 million women directly affected by this. Can I put it to both of you? First, Lady Altman, your parties are just going to have to sort this out. You cannot go to the election leaving this injustice uncorrected, can you?
Well, I would hope that that doesn't happen, and the Ombudsman makes clear that there is a need for urgent action. Parliament needs to get together. Indeed, Stephen Timms' committee, I think, would be perhaps well placed, but Stephen may not agree with me, which is perfectly fine. It could be some other body. Needs to be set up cross-party within Parliament to look at the report, identify what's happened, and then decide how Parliament believes public money should be spent, given what is found by the Parliamentary Ombudsman.
Well, there you go, Steve. That's not a bad idea.
No, my committee could certainly look at it, but all we can do is make recommendations to the government. So in the end, it comes back to the government. I'll tell you one point that crossed my mind in looking through the Ombudsman's report today. It's just a reminder that as citizens, we do all have a responsibility to keep ourselves broadly up to date with the rules as they change. I mean, there was certainly a lot of women who did know about this change. I think the DWP survey suggested that 40% of women did know, and I was pensions minister at the beginning of the 2000s, and I remember quite a lot of my time was spent signing letters, replying to MPs who'd written on behalf of their constituents saying, surely you're not going to equalise the state pension age, and the letter went back, yes, that is the law. So I think, you know, that point does need to be borne in mind in looking
we
at
can't throw it all onto government. Let me just go back to that political point though, Stephen. In the real world, with an election coming this year, neither of the main parties can afford to let this slide. You're going to have to deal with this.
I think there is going to have to be some decision. I presume the government next week will tell us they're not going to do anything. Whether my colleagues on the Labour front bench are going to want to commit themselves to the potentially very large sum of money that we're talking about at this stage, I don't know.
Now, I know it's a scary, scary prospect, but surely you should go and tap on Rachel Reeves's door and say, come on, Rachel, this is one thing you've really got to find some money for.
Well,
given what she stands for.
Ros has suggested that my committee should look at it. I think that's a perfectly sensible suggestion. I think the Public Administration and Constitutional Affairs Committee, to which the Ombudsman reports, may well want to look at it as well. Quite where we go from there, I'd want to wait until we've had that conversation.
We'll learn more next week. Ros and Stephen, thank you both very, very much indeed for talking to me tonight. Coming up, British birth rates are at an all-time low, with the potential for major changes in the makeup of the British population by the end of this century. I will be speaking to one of Britain's best demographers about what that could mean for all of our futures. The time now, 6:18.
This is LBC.
There it is, sat round doing nothing, that old lump sum. But what if you could get it moving with a
So guys, I am going to just relax until I take Max out and just keep doing what I'm doing. See you later.